What's hot, everybody? I'm ready for this episode. Today, you have joined me in Hastings, Michigan, where I am picking up a dear sister of mine. She is a performer, an artist, an intelligent, beautiful package deal, Psyche Delick. If you don't follow her, you should follow her. She's a trailblazer. She's cutting edge. She speaks her truth. And she is so knowledgeable. Oh, there isn't a topic that I couldn't bring up that we can't get down to and talk about. So I am meeting her at a local store so I can pick her up. She did know I was coming, but that's okay because we're still getting hot on the spot. She doesn't know what we're talking about. To be real honest, I don't even know what we're talking about today. I spent a lot of time thinking about this episode and what I wanted to talk about and what I wanted to present, and it was just evident to me that Spirit was like, nah, you just gotta let this conversation flow. So I'm super excited to get aligned with Psyche today and present something fucking awesome to you guys. So here we are. Hey friends, I'm so stoked you've dropped by for a ride today. Each episode, you'll tag along with me, picking up my guests, talking about what's hot in their lives and on their heart. And you never know what surprises might be in my sleeve. Here's what's hot on the spot. Now, let's hit the road. That was so exciting. This bitch pulls up, dancing. This is how we pull up, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't need a lot of leg room.
What's hot, bitch?
Hi!
Oh my god.
I'm so excited.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm so glad to have you.
I'm so excited. I love the last two, like your first two episodes were really great.
Thank you. I'm so excited for you to be episode 3.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Yay, I'm so excited to see you!
I am too! This is the first time we've seen each other in the flesh since January!
I was thinking about it and I was like, holy cow.
It doesn't feel like it.
No, it doesn't. No.
But that's alright. That's alright. So what are you up to? What's hot? Start me off. You're working on a costume for
a burlesque act.
Alright.
I'm actually having a coffin built for it too.
a coffin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm having a full coffin, a purple coffin with purple velvet in it.
Nice.
And I am not a seamstress. So I feel like I've been in my basement, and since I live with my mom right now, bless her heart for like kind of letting me take over.
Loving you?
Letting me take over the basement.
Good.
Because like I shall come downstairs. She's like, "What's going on?" And I feel like one of those, those people that haven't seen daylight in forever. So I'm like,
That's funny that you mentioned not seeing daylight like that though, because I keep getting reels on my social medias of people doing darkness retreats where they're like in the dark for 4 days,
yes.
and then they come out and they're like also melancholy and like loving what they see, and I'm like, I want to try that.
I have wanted. So I want to say it was like 2 years ago. I'm not like the biggest fan of Aubrey Marcus, but I do like some of his like podcast guests.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking one time about, or he's mentioned it a couple times about like his the dark retreat, same thing where he's got a week in the dark. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And but then my mind immediately was like, oh my god, what would I do for a week in the dark?
That's also what I was thinking. I feel like it's not like blindfolded darkness. I feel like you're in a dark environment with your eyes open that you get to adjust to.
Yeah.
Like obviously you have to do something though.
Yeah, I don't know,
man. Okay, so one of my favorite things about you is that you are this primordial yoga goddess. So can you please tell my listeners, who I'm sure don't know what primordial yoga is, tell me about like what it is and why you practice it.
Yeah. So primordial yoga is the best way I like to describe it is like yogic dance blended with like strength and conditioning, and it's not, it's like it feels very tribal.
Yeah.
Like when we think of primordial, like we live primal, you know, so that very like those primal essences. And I mean, humans have been dancing for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Probably, I would venture to say that like probably before there was spoken language, it was body language.
Yeah.
You know, and like, so dance is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, you know, human language that we have. You know, and we refer to, like, we say, like, you know, oh, the dance of the universe, or like the dance of, you know, like everything's a dance when you think about it. So primordial yoga uses like yoga as a base. So, you know, there will be movements, and it's always moving. It's very high intensity. It's like 4 out of 5 or like 5 out of 5 intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So, and even now I'm kicking my own ass while I'm doing it and just sweating my butt off.
Great, so graciously you are.
Yeah, I try.
She'll have perfect form and like not even look like she's busting sweat. She'll be like, I'm exhausted, my calves are on fire, but 10 more seconds. And I'm like, all right.
It's so true. It's so true. Even when I self-practice, I'm just like, wow, this is hard. But at the same time, like, I'm so in love with it. You know, so it's like, it's what it is. It's sacral and root movements. You know,
I like those descriptors.
Yeah,
I would always describe it as like warrior-esque.
Yes.
Warrior-esque.
Yes.
Dance.
Yes.
Collective dance.
Yes. That's how I feel about it. And it uses like, I mean, literally it's using, you know, the information of the Veda, like from the Vedas, you know, so like I haven't incorporated this yet into any of the sessions that you've done, but like meridian tapping, you know, and so knowing how to, like the stuff that we did with Kelly, you know, like the yin yoga where we were like tapping on our
shout out Kelly.
Yeah, shout out.
We love you, Kelly.
Kelly Woods, man, she is, I swear.
If y'all need lymphatic drainage, if you need self massage techniques, if you are stressed to the max and can't get rid of headaches, go follow Woods Way Healing on Instagram.
I swear.
Shameless plug.
She has, yes, shameless plug. Also, like, man, Kelly knows so, like.
Anyway, so why add I mean, lymphatic or tapping to an already, you know, pretty rigorous like activity, like that's kind of like a yin and yang to make one really nice
so evolution. Like you need so primordial yoga was channeled and brought to like reality by my yoga mentor and dear friend, Leia Peruganan's Leg White, and I absolutely love her. She's great, and so also shout out to Starseed Wisdom Yoga. So I know that she's like doing a yoga teacher training coming up soon, but she is the one who has channeled and
for primordial.
For just regular yoga teacher training, but primordial is included in that. So in the yoga teacher training, in the 200-hour, she is now including, I believe that she is including primordial. And so when I did primordial teacher training, it was like a 2-day, 30-hour intensive. It was awesome. And you learn, you know, musicality. So at the root of primordial, it's like, again, these primal movements, ways that like we're really, you know, we lose the movement of these of this when we enter like into adulthood, you know. So there, you see so many people that have a hard time like even just doing like lunges, you know, and these things are intense, but so anyway, why primordial?
Well worth it.
Yes, well worth it. You know, I really I feel that it just brings you back to like a strong sense of self. And I feel that like also moving in powerful ways with people automatically, like, you get to see your own power.
Yeah.
And you're also reflecting other people's power back to them.
Yes.
And there's just something about moving with a group of people.
Yeah.
You know, and I do like traditional, you know, Ashtanga, Hatha, Vinyasa yoga. Those things absolutely have their place. And I have learned to slow down because those things are a little bit of a slower practice. But I love primordial because we do live in a world where we're just so go.
Yeah.
And I think if we're gonna be go, we should be going with intentionality. And the intention to like be connected to self. And I'm somebody who I love dancing so much. And so to then blend also like strength training and calisthenics and like balance, breath work.
It's truly like the full body,
it is
ultimate cardio.
Yeah, it is. And like with the meridian tapping, you know, you can't just only have the yang. You know, you can't just only have the yin. And there are wonderful practices where you do like you go to a yin class or you have a yin only practice because we need that slowdown, right? And then you might have a very yang centered practice, which is like weightlifting or, you know, bike riding or something that gets your heart rate up. But when you can combine the two, it's like it really, I think, teaches your system how to balance and how to adapt. Because there are moments in primordial, like in the intense flow, where all of a sudden now you have to like, maybe I'm gonna have you hit like a balancing pose, and you have to find that center where you're like, can I hit this balance after we just came out of like a really, you know, intense movement. And it's about finding that breath amidst the chaos, and with a driving beat too. Like I love primordial because I also like, I love hard hitting beat, like anything with a beat. It could be anything from like drums to rap to techno to like literally to jazz, like whatever. And I find that beat is a good center to connect to. And as somebody who loves dance, it's like the beat is what the beat and the melody of the song is what drives you.
Yes. Can I share with you my why?
Yeah.
Why I love primordial?
Yes, please.
Okay, so before Rewild, and I just shared this with Kala too. She kind of didn't have any idea. Before Rewild, like I wasn't in touch with any type of like actual movement, actual spirit work. Yeah. Like I had the runes and I saw angel numbers and everything was falling into place. And then I met Shelby and then I went to Rewild and I was like, whoa, like there's a whole world of spirituality and like I just kind of like felt like I finally fit in, right? In a community that I didn't know I needed. Yeah. And so like, never really practiced yoga, you know. And so when we did Goddess yoga, I at the time was like, all right, this is cool. Like
Goddess is great.
I love it. I loved it, but it was hard for me to really get a deep connection with it because I'm not very strong in my feminine. And I really wasn't in January. Yeah. I'm better now. I'm working on it, but I really wasn't in January. Yeah. So when you turned on that music and we started dancing like primal badasses, I was like, this lets my like soul shine. I was like, I can like, it made me feel a little dirty. It made me feel a little natured, you know. I felt like I was like, okay, I have every opportunity right now to really be my total authentic self, all the way down to like my outweighing masculine energy. So right? Yeah. Because I don't fit in well in dance groups. I didn't, you know. Collective groups of women prior to Rewild was not a thing for me. And then everything changed. Yeah. So primordial to me is like, you can really like kind of like file your claws on the ground, and just get all of that energy flowing through you. So that's why I love primordial.
I love that you said like natured. That's such a good way to describe it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you just can't like imagine doing anything else when you're like swinging your arms to the ground,
Right.
Like you're not like collecting like something or like testing the dirt to see, you know, what kind of like moisture the soil has or whatever, like however it resonates for you.
I think like, you know, it's the intensity speaks to, you know, so when I found primordial, I had like just exited out of a really toxic relationship, and it's funny because it was actually my ex who introduced me to Leia, and then I saw that she had primordial, and I was like, wow, I what is that? I want to go. So I went on Saturday morning, and immediately it was like this hard hitting music, you know, when she's going, and I was like, oh shit, this is what I just felt like this is what I've been missing. And then to move, and it was the group was women only. You know, it was women only. So, and at this time in my life, I was like, I hadn't like written men off, but I was like, I need to step away from that because I can't be around it. You know, I can't be around that. I need to be with other women. And
I feel like that kind of bounces back with the kind of how I felt like I truly could fully shine as like, as like having a strong divine masculine, because when you're around men, even if it is a safe space, are you ever fully as authentic and able to really resonate that divine masculine? So,
and especially if other people, like if other men haven't fully realized their own masculine and they're feminine too. So like it really, and I was around a lot of, or the men that I knew, you know, wonderful guys, but just not like wounded. Very wounded. And so, you know, and I myself was wounded, and I was just like, I'm taking a sabbatical from everyone.
That's pretty much what happened to me when I came home from Rewild. And I talk about this with all my friends that ask, but some of my friends when I came home from Rewild, like there was an obvious disconnect. And
I remember you telling me
it wasn't intentional, but I had to take a sabbatical from some energies. And it's not that I don't love those people unconditionally, because I do. But I totally understand, because sometimes when those energies are really shining on you, it's hard to continue moving in my case, a totally new way of life and direction.
So I feel like, and at that time too, for me, I didn't know how to process my emotions. Like my emotions were so big, and so primordial and moving with a group of women. And that was the one thing I could dedicate myself to, and it was like primordial was my permission slip to move my body in ways that my relationship I felt was like kind of demonized. You know, it was like, oh well, you're moving that way because you must be trying to get attention somewhere.
That's how I feel right now about Goddess. When I like I said in January when I did Goddess yoga, I was like, all right, this is cool, but like getting in touch with my divine feminine was never like a jive for me. And now I'm like, oh shit, I love moving like this. Oh wow, I love how this makes me feel. This you know, sensation that I sometimes get head to toe. It's like, this is our birthright to move like this.
Absolutely.
On both sides of the spectrum. So
absolutely,
I'm learning to step into my divine feminine through those movements. And I mean, I get those movements in primordial as well, but it's interesting that those were our switches. Those were our mirrored experience.
So I don't know, I just like, I want to bring it to the world, like, and I love the way that Leia teaches it, and it's been a journey for me to like kind of understand, coming into my own teacher, and like how does like my personality naturally shine through, because you know, you can learn something and you can say something verbatim and it's not going to be the same because you're not the same. Like I'm not her. I'm literally not. You know, so the tonality of my voice, like the way that I look, everything's going to be different. And it's also been a journey for me, and like how do I bring this and communicate it and move in a way that like gets out what I want, you know, and I can have an idea of what I want people to experience, but everyone's experience is going to be different. You know, so I don't know. And like seeing you at Rewild doing primordial, I was like, you lit me up. Like you did. I was watching it and I was like, man, I saw your experience, and I felt it. It was such a it was so
saw,
palpable.
Now that I've heard your
it.
experience, you saw you in
Absolutely.
me in that moment.
Absolutely. And I was like, oh my God. I was like holding back tears. And I don't know, it was just every time I move like that, I get emotional, even when I'm by myself. And I'm like, I just love this. I'm so emotional about everything.
Oh, well, that's okay.
It is.
It's so important to be emotional.
I love it. I was emotional at the Barbie movie last night. I saw the Barbie movie. Have you seen it?
I have not yet. I want to so bad. I was
so
in my thought of we were talking about divine masculine, divine
So
feminine.
good.
I was like, we should talk about the Barbie movie.
It's so good. It's so
what if you could pick 2 reasons why it's so good? What would you like? What were the two maybe like stars?
Wow.
Or 3, 2 or 3.
Wow. Okay. Well, number 1, they totally wrote the Ken role for Ryan Gosling. They wrote it for him.
I don't think they did though.
I swear they did. I mean, like in my head they did.
So I overheard. This is funny.
In my head,
I overheard a Margot Robbie interview the other day, where I guess she was already cast as Barbie.
Yeah.
And she had saw a viral video of Ryan Gosling splitting up a fight between 2 people.
No
Just
way.
like casually like coming in and keeping everything calm. She described him as a superhero, like in the moment, like swooping in, fixing the situation.
That's awesome.
Everybody went their separate ways, and she said when she saw that clip, she knew he was the perfect Ken because there's no way you cannot have a good touch of like with your divine feminine and be able to handle a situation the way that he did.
Absolutely.
And so it sounds like that he was fitted like a shoe.
He literally like the shoe fit him so perfectly, and I loved him in that role, and I loved, oh my God, like the whole movie was great. I mean, from the set design to the dance choreography. I don't want to give away too much, like because you haven't seen it, and like to anybody else who hasn't seen it. But what I loved most was that, you know, it in a society in like today's world where, you know, it was Barbie was about empowering both and empower like everyone empowerment, not just female empowerment. Right. And like getting back to like the root of like the word feminism, which is like equality for everybody. It's just equal. It's not women over men, you know, and it's not one rules more this. But, you know, I loved it that like in Barbie land, everything was, you know, Barbie and like Barbie Supreme Court and Barbie was a doctor and Barbie like so women. It was like very women centric. But in that, the Kens, it was like, literally the question in the movie was like, well, where does Ken live? And there's no house for Ken. So, you know, and Ryan Gosling's character, Ken, he was like, but it's Barbie and Ken. And so it was like Ken was just the accessory to Barbie. And so as a way to, you know, say like, there is no Ken, it's all about Barbie. And I loved the way the movie was like, but what if it can be Barbie and also it's Ken?
I love
it's
that.
Barbie and it's Ken.
I'm so
it's not Barbie and Ken. It was so good, and I love that because it really highlighted how just the system of patriarchy, right? We always say patriarchy equals men.
Yeah.
No, patriarchy is also the suppression of men. It's just the suppression of people. It's like the suppression of who we are. And to see that really brought to the attention, you know, and like Ryan Gosling just he played it so well, where he's like, I don't even know who I am as Ken, and like who is Ken, you know. And so I loved it as such an uplifting story for like men, you know. That was probably like my number one thing. It's like yes, female empowerment, you know, and we've been riding this female empowerment train, but also like male empowerment, because, you know, and I don't know if you've read, I suggested it to you, the Warrior Magician.
I haven't read it yet.
King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. So the way that book starts, such a good book, is it talks about how we no longer have sacred initiation rites for boys. Okay. And so there's like, you know, you'll go back to tribes and even, you know, in like the Amazonian and there are ethnicities that still have rites of passage for boys to become men, and it's those we have lost in society. And so it's like, how does that affect men? Because there is no like delineation from this is your boyhood and now this is your manhood, and you have actually like now you're stepping into manhood, right? Like we think, oh, like 18 quote unquote is the rite of passage, when really it's not, because we don't have any, there's no action thing. Right? And same for like women. You know, we don't have any rite of passage as far as like a girl to a young lady, you know. So I thought that was really interesting, and I was thinking about it in terms of like my own inner masculine and like what would be my rite of passage to mature my masculine from his boyhood to his manhood.
I love that. Yeah. It's amazing to me when they can put such deep like meanings and messages behind.
They did it so well.
Yeah, behind movies.
They did it so well. Like it was really great how they did it. I loved it.
I'm super glad to hear that. Yeah. So we're gonna listen to a song now. Oh. We are that way through. So you get to play a song that I want to hear your favorite song with like the strongest beat, like that you can obviously like sing to, like a singy dancey movement. Ooh. Not like don't pull out a song you put in like a primordial set list.
Oh damn!
But like,
okay.
But you know, like something with that beat, something that if you want to hear that, you know, you want that.
Okay.
What are you putting in?
So we talked about this album. And you're like a year late to this album, girl. The Renaissance album by Beyonce.
Yes,
I love that.
One of my friends just saw her in Nashville. She is obsessed with the Renaissance. Shout out Gabby. She did hate me to know that I'm still somewhat behind, but
I like thought that Beyonce came out with it this year, and you were like, girl, that was 2022.
That happened. That sure did happen. She was like, new Beyonce, and I was like, girl, this is...
You're like a year behind.
It's behind, but that's all right.
Okay, so I think it's this one. This song?
I think it is.
Yes. I love this song so much. It's so disco-y.
It does have a beat. What a better like environment to just be chilling to.
I know.
This is great.
I almost put this in the last primordial playlist because it's just so dancey, and I'm like, I just want to groove to this.
Yeah, I just want to, you know. See stars, you see stars, you and in love. I love Beyonce.
She is so, and I love this song because it's like, she's like, we're just gonna immerse ourselves in sexual pleasure, and I love that she's like, I bet you'll see stars, and I'm like, connecting to the fucking divine through sex. I love it.
Yes,
like, I love it. I love this whole album, but this song, I have this on repeat for like a week.
It's a special place in your heart.
Because I'm just all about like everything is pleasurable to me. Everything is sensation.
Yes,
I love it so much.
I kind of had this revelation the other day that as we can be intentional with every action, we can also be sensual with every action.
Yes,
and finding sexual sensation, you know, however you want to talk about it, finding that in like normal action and day-to-day action is a move.
Everything. Like I like
talk about always being in a good mood,
dude. Always. I was the other day. I was having toast, right? And I don't ever eat toast, but I was like, I'm gonna have toast, and I like pulled out the bread, and I was like, oh wow, this texture, and I just like pet the bread. I love like I found pleasure in like the bread, you know? And then when I was eating it and I had put some jelly on it, and I'm like, wow, I just love the way this like is in my mouth. Like, I love the taste of this. And yeah, it is like finding pleasure in anything. I mean, like, this is such a pleasurable experience, the whole thing. And it does make life more enjoyable. I loved what you and Austin were saying in your first episode about like the stopping and smelling the roses. And immediately I was like, God, and like the thought of like the pleasure of the rose touching your nose as you go in to smell it. And I was like, oh wow, that, you know, and I love what you guys were saying about that. And everything in my being is like, I love the way this feels on my body, and you know, everything is pleasure to me.
Because it can be.
It can be.
A lot of people can't open their minds to that.
I know.
And it's such a shame for them.
I know. And I sometimes I tell people, I'm like, for me, just like breathing air is a sexual experience. And they're like, oh, are you like in a like orgasming? I'm like, I am literally in an orgasmic state all the time. Like I'm just a walking orgasm.
You are a walking permission slip to do whatever the fuck you want.
Thank you. I love that.
Whatever you want.
I fully received that. Like, that was like the biggest compliment of all of Rewild, and I take that into my life, and I'm just, I love. Thank you.
So speaking of your life and you being a walking permission slip, I mentioned that you are an artist. I didn't go into a lot of details though. Yeah. So do you want to kind of just like say for like the people listening or watching, like, who the hell are you? Who are you? Because there's so much to you that creates this beautiful masterpiece of an individual. So yeah, who are you?
I am an artist.
You are. That's true.
I am an artist. I really see myself as like a movement artist. You know, so, and not just like with, you know, so I do burlesque. I'm also a stripper. Yeet. And actually, I was working like a week ago, and you know, thankfully I have people that like walk me out or will watch me as I walk out to my car.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I walk out to my car, there'll be people that approach me, you know. And so this guy approached me, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Homie, it's 2:30 in the morning. I'm going home, and I'm sleeping because I just sweat my butt off twerking for like 6 hours."
Hell yeah.
Which is it's a workout, you know. It's a twerk out.
Talk about cardio.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But he was like, I just want to tell you that like you are like a straight up performer, and that really, that really meant something to me, you know. And I was like, man, this man who is clearly like inebriated, also can recognize my artistry in a place that, you know, we don't think of. You know, you don't think of as like,
how many men walk in looking at the dancers and being like, wow,
that's art,
pure art.
No.
That man.
So to get that compliment, I was like, that means a lot.
And you were totally thrown off guard too.
Yeah.
Like, I expected that I'll probably have to swing almost.
I had my keys in my hand, and I was like, I don't know.
You're like, what?
I want to go home and like drink some chocolate milk and go to bed.
Yes. The duality of our lives and our professions, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I consider myself to be a movement artist, and I mean, I do also like dabble in like paint. I've been doing a lot of painting with my menstrual blood.
Okay.
So that's been super fun. And,
why?
It's so freeing.
Oh, nice word choice.
It's so freeing, and it's empowering.
Yeah.
To like the fact that my body literally makes its own pigment, and it's the pigment of life. Like, that is what that is, you know? And so it's like my body is giving me a color every month. And then to like see, there was one day in my kitchen where I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding. And then I like grabbed my blood and I looked at it under the light, and I was like, it's so red.
Yeah.
And I had I'd taken out my IUD at the beginning of 2022.
Hell yeah, you did.
Yeah. So my blood hadn't looked
normal
this way.
Yeah.
As like, this is like blood red.
Yeah.
And I never really understood the sentiment until I saw it, and I was like, oh my God. And I like literally grabbed more, and I just put it on my face.
Warrior mode.
And I was like, this is so awesome that I create I create color. So like that just drives home like we are art. You know, it's like you're literally.
We are nature.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I heard this TikTok video the other day where they were breaking, you know, one of those like screw the patriarchy type thing.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, if you think about the elements, you have fire and air, which are intangible. Those are our divine masculine. Those are spirit. Those are God. Those are energy. You know, it is typically prioritized or should be in your day-to-day life, yada, yada, yada. But then you have water and earth, which are tangible. And you have...
and malleable.
Yeah, and you have earth, Mother Earth, the divine earth, the divine feminine. Like, when I watched that video, it really took me to a whole different dimension of, whoa, women are it, man.
Yeah, we are.
Women are it.
We are totally it. And you know what
I love my partner very much, but
totally.
damn.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I love the masculine as like, there's like, when you have, you know, no matter who you are, right? A very strong masculine is such a beautiful container.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, okay, so let's take it for a second. So I love that like water and earth, those are the tangible things. Like we can grab them, we can put them through our hands, we can wash them in our hair, you know, whatever. So in order to make glass, a glass jar, right? If I'm going to put dirt in a glass jar, so I'm going to put earth in a glass jar. That glass jar is masculine because even though it's tangible, it needed fire to create it. Yeah. So we have to have we have to have a sacred container for our feminine. Yeah. We have to have something safe. And I love that.
That's what this is.
Yeah. The feminine is so malleable because she, you know, it's an energy that you can mold it and create it into what you want, whatever it is that you want. And she just, all it needs is to be held in some way. Yeah. It just needs structure.
That's wild.
And like structure is the masculine. And so the structure, like whatever you provide, whatever structure is in your life that you're providing for like your water, you know, like a bowl, what kind of bowl are you putting your water in? Yeah. And is it a bowl? Is it a heart-shaped bowl? Is it a bowl that maybe like you actually think is really ugly? And if you think it's ugly, then what do you think of the water in the bowl? Or what resonance does the water hold because you're thinking that the container is ugly? You know what I mean?
I do. It's nuts, man. Just like, even if you like take a step back and blow it up even in proportion of like actual the mother, like the earth.
Totally.
We are the Mother Earth suspended in a universe. Held oh so perfectly as it moves its course by the masculine energy.
Absolutely. I know.
That blows my mind.
I know. Do you ever just watch do you ever look at photos of just Earth. from space? Yeah. God.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's so incredible. And I was just talking to my partner the other day about this. Is like, anyone who thinks, you know, and I'm not gonna say that, you know, but I think it's silly. Anyone who thinks that this is not heaven, you got it wrong. You have it wrong, I think.
Yeah. The video was talking about how like some people think that like Earth is the devil's playground, and that is not the case whatsoever. It is not the devil's playground. It is the heavens. It is the heavens.
Like literally, like this is
exactly what it is. Like
people say, like, you know, the term heaven on earth and just come from anywhere, you know, and I think that when people too, like I was listening to, I can't remember what it was, but I was listening to a podcast about talking about heaven on earth, and the nature of like people thinking that heaven exists somewhere else. Like, do you not see, like, because if it exists somewhere else, then what does heaven have that we don't? What would that other place have that we literally don't have? Yeah. You know, because people say, oh, well, heaven would have peace. Where is there not peace?
Where's there not peace here? Yeah. I can find peace real fast.
Absolutely.
Any day.
Absolutely.
Dang.
Yeah. You know, and so it's like, of course we are living on, like, this is heaven.
Yeah.
Heaven, and, you know, and if heaven is another place, again, like, what does it have that we do? Lush green, what, you know, we're driving through, like, lush green like, roads right now. You know, I mean, like, just the conditions that this planet holds. I mean, there's no other like it. Have you seen, there's a documentary, what is it called, about how they tried to create, it's called Biosphere 2. Have you heard about this?
I have not.
Okay. I mean, I watch it. I'm such a documentary slut. I love it.
I love it.
I love docs. Which also, by the way, the Arnold Schwarzenegger 3-part documentary, so good.
Well worth the watch.
It was good. I really liked it.
Okay.
I really liked it. And I'm like, God, this guy, like, really he really does just go for it.
Go hard.
Yeah. And I really admired him.
Cool.
Even more after that. So anyway, Biosphere 2. Oh, look at this corn. It's so
Let's just take a moment to appreciate the corn and all that corn does for us. It fuels us. It fuels our vehicles. It feeds our animals. It feeds us.
I love
corn.
I do too.
This is a great question that I've been thinking on for quite some time now. So
about corn?
Maybe.
Okay.
So Michigan,
Uh-huh.
does that have like a staple like fruit
Oh yeah.
or like vegetable?
Yeah.
What is it?
So Michigan, so cherries.
Cherries.
Cherries. I was gonna say apples because like we also have an apple festival, but the cherry festival is big here.
Okay.
And actually, like, thousands of people come from all over the United States to go to northern Michigan in Traverse City for the cherry festival. And it's like, I mean, you can't move an inch at the cherry festival, and it's cherry trees.
That's some festival type stuff.
It's
festival type stuff.
It is, and then you got like, you know, pie competitions and like cherry bake-offs and cherry salsas, and it's amazing.
Do you
Michigan,
like cherries?
I love cherries.
Okay.
Love cherries, and like a true Michigan cherry is so.
You from Michigan?
Yeah,
Okay.
is so fat and plump, and like there's different kinds of cherries, but the one like I think like the true Michigan cherries are like these beautiful, almost like Merlot type color, and they're so juicy. But was this back to your? Was that the question, or was it about corn?
No, it was about what like Michigan staple was.
Okay.
Because my partner had asked me before we got here, like, oh, is there like what is it? And I was like,
Cherries.
I don't know. And then when we drove in, I saw a sign for peaches, and I was like, that doesn't make sense.
No.
That does not make sense.
No.
In the slightest.
No, we can't grow peaches here.
I figured not.
No, it's not hot enough. And like, I don't know, the peach trees need like a kind of soil that I don't think that we have. I don't know a lot about peach trees, but yeah, at apples, we have like good apples here. We have a lot of like cider mills.
Okay.
So actually, we have some really great Michigan like ciders, like beers.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good.
I saw a few billboards specifically for like
Mm-hmm.
distilleries with ciders.
Yeah. We actually have some really amazing like breweries here in the state. There was I wish that I could remember the name of the brewery, but it's up in like the Tequamatum Falls area, so up in the Upper Peninsula.
Okay.
And is an amazing brewery. My dad and I were there years ago, and this is like before I could legally drink. I'll say that.
There's a very sweet old man in the middle of the road. Did not want to drive too fast past him.
He looks, I don't know, young man, young. Yeah, and we have like actually some really incredible breweries, and I do think it's because of just like the weather, the way that people like distill, and I don't know too much about distilling alcohol, but it is a process that always has intrigued me. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I told the people before we started, I was like, to be honest, this is gonna be a pure what's hot, even though she knows I'm coming, because I don't know what we're gonna talk about today.
I had no idea either, and I was thinking about it, like, okay, Leslie knows I'm coming, so it's not a surprise, but it is also a surprise because I haven't seen you since January.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't. I feel it's so surreal right now.
I sat with like the concept of this episode for like several minutes, multiple days.
Yeah.
Like trying to figure out like really if there was anything particular I wanted to focus on.
Yeah.
And Spirit was very much like, nope, just flow.
Just let it happen.
Just flow. So I'm appreciating you and your energy. It's so good to see you.
Dude, I've been looking forward to this. And I wanted to make sure, like, when I checked the date, I was like, I gotta make sure I don't fucking miss this. Because my ass, I'll be in my basement, like, you know, like the sewing away, trying to sew this costume together.
Sewing away, not being a seamstress.
Yeah, not being a seamstress.
But sewing away.
I'm trying so hard.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, we are about to pull up at the campsite. It actually worked out very well, my aimless driving.
I was like, wow.
Like, where are we going?
Yeah, I mean, you had it. You had it. So I was like, I'm just along with the ride.
There's not much in this area except for nature. But that's okay. Is there anything else that's on your mind? Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else that's on the spot that should come out because it's hot? I don't know.
No.
Anything you're working on? Anything you're wanting to share?
I am. I just want to shout out Ashley Waverly.
Oh yes, anytime. We can shout out Ashley Waverly every day on this podcast.
Like, I like doing ancestral work. Holy smokes! Like, changes the game, and I don't know. I just like reconnected with an ancestor, and it's I can't. I'm not allowed to speak on it, but it's like
that's okay.
It's all like I don't know. Connecting to that part of yourself is such. It brings back. It is, and it brings back like such power that you didn't know was there. And I think in like, I don't know, and so I'm just really excited. And I will say that I'm getting more into like alchemy.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know. I just had this thought on my way here. I'm like, I really want to go away somewhere for like a whole year and just learn about plants and how to use them in an alchemical way. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to be like, all right, I have primordial and plants and I have the knowledge of the fucking cosmos and I'm here to fuck your shit up in the best way. That's how I feel.
Sign me up. whatever that golden ticket costs, I will attend that show.
That is exactly how I feel right now. And I'm like, I'm here to everybody harness their own power. So
yes.
That's it. That's all I want to say.
All right. Well, friggin', I'm so glad that I was able to put you on the spot. I'm so excited to be here in Michigan. We're just hanging out. We're just camping. Kind of getting.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course. Backstory, I guess. I was at work thinking about the podcast. I think I had just finished editing the last episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, episode 3. Psyche. That's it. And I called her on my lunch break. I FaceTimed you.
Yeah, you did.
And you were like eating or just chilling or hanging out. And she was like, what's up? And I was like, are you trying to be on a podcast at the end of the month? And she was like, what?
Yeah. So, but also, yes.
Yeah. I was like, well, I can't make any promises, but I'm going to try my best to come up. And here we are literally 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
4 weeks later.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, well.
And I started my moon cycle today. So I was like, it's divine timing.
I have had the Greek goddess Hestia as my phone screen, my lock screen for a long time because she's just like really resonating with me and with me. But at some point today, somehow, some way, it got switched to an older phone screen that I used when I was doing spiritual side gig work because the goddess that we like called in at the beginning of it was Mother Mary. So it got switched to Mother Mary when I was in Walmart. And I was like, well, that's a sign. I'm just going to read that. Yeah, is that significant for you?
Totally. Absolutely. And I mean, I've been also like learning about Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
Like big time. And I think that she is just like super loud right now for so many women.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I feel that.
I love it.
I feel that.
So that's amazing.
I feel like Mary Magdalene was almost like the unspoken priestess.
Absolutely.
Like,
1,000.
like we did. Nobody gave her the credit.
No,
that she needed.
1,000%.
Because her and Jesus, you know, they were on a whole different dimension.
That is like the divine like partnership.
Yeah.
You know, like you have the divine masculine and the divine feminine right there.
Absolutely.
In the flesh.
In the flesh. All right. Well, I love you. Catch you guys next time.